raise it up. Hey, raise it up. Why? Raise it up. Raise it up. Why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up. Why? Raise it up. Raise it up. Why? Raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. The west side, raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. The west side, raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up.
Hey, let's wait, okay. Chris Cadenhead is back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just put that out here. You understand? We had him gone for just a minute. You understand? You know, life circumstances and things, but he is back. He is black. No, he is back, but he is not black. He is white. Black. But so hey loves. My name is Wyann Vaughn, also known as Y, and this is Raise It Up Y, the podcast. We are coming at you the last Thursday of February. It's a name. Yeah, February. Imagine having to really enunciate Wednesday. Wednesday. That's BS. Like, so the last Thursday of, or should we say like, it's Black Heritage Month. So February, you understand? 2021. And an episode I have simply decided will be called This Is What It Feels Like. Yes, this is an ode to King Nip Hussle and his, what is the word after someone passes? Posthumous? Posthumous? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Posthemous or MUS, something like that. Yeah, it's like if there were, yeah, TH, I meant to say, my bad. But it's posthumous or posthumous. I'm not sure how to say that word. Yes, I am a master's degree holder, and I am one of the most brilliant motherfuckers you'll ever meet. And the smartest people in a room will always let you know what they do and don't know. You understand that? So yeah, there's no shame in my game. Only way to learn something new is to ask. Only way to learn something new or be something new is to admit what you don't know so that you can know, huh? So that's where I'm at. But no, I love this song that came out on, I think that was February 12th. But it's a song called, and This Is What It Feels Like. It is a Nipsey Hove collabo on the Black Messiah soundtrack. I have yet to see the movie about Fred Hampton. Isn't that what it's about? The Black Messiah? It's about, hold up. Now y'all got me looking crazy. But Black Messiah, Judas and the Black Messiah. And this is about, they actually gonna, dude, I'm trying to get to what it's about and they keep skipping the page. Paints a biographical portrait of Fred Hampton. Exactly. The chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party in 1969. Created the first Rainbow Coalition. I have not seen the movie. I plan to see the movie. I said it already that this month is Black Heritage Month. And if you've been listening for the last couple of years, you guys know I don't really make a big deal of Black anything during this month because I celebrate us all the time in all of our episodes. This podcast was started by hip hop, and hip hop is a version of this culture that began from Black and brown underrepresented communities in the South Bronx, if you want to look at it in the American beginning of it, or if you want to look at it in its African roots and storytelling of what one professor called from ring dance to rock. Ring dance was how they spoke about history an African culture, West African culture, and they would do it over beats. And that's how your, they didn't have the books, you know what I mean? History books or, photo albums. So you knew what relative was what relative and sort of a thing. So you would get these, griots and these individuals who would, with rhyme and rhythm and melody, would speak about what's been in the tribe or in the culture over, drums, over beats, because that's how you remember stuff. Try to remember 26 bits of information without the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star melody, and you're going to have a hard time learning the alphabet, ladies and gentlemen. So, subtle flexes all in the beginning of this episode. But yeah, this is what it feels like. I was talking about the idea of this episode being actually, when I refer to the word it, like I say, if you haven't already listened to this song by King Nip and one of the kings of the rap game, Mr. Jay-Z, you all are missing out. I can't even do it justice attempting to summarize it, but it's an outstanding representation of rap music in and of itself and hip hop culture in and of itself. Also on that soundtrack, my sis Rhapsody, we gave her a whole lot of love last episode. Her is on there. JID or JID is on there with Rhapsody and Masego. You have a whole bunch of individuals on there. I think Black Thought is on there, and Black Thought is Black Thought. So if he's in your top 5, I would not be offended by you. But yeah, it's an outstanding soundtrack, and I hope soundtracks come back. I'm from the 90s era where, man, we had Waiting to Exhale, we had freaking Boomerang, we had Soul Food, Mama, you know I love you. You remember that, Katie? You know I love you, Mama. Shouts out to my who I'm going to call my friend now. We just know each other on social media, but that's Sean Stockman Official, at Sean Stockman Official of Boys to Men. That is one of the coolest mofos ever. I'm just going to put it out there. And it's no surprise how dope his artistry has been once you see how down to earth and humble and fly of a Black man and a real nigga that man is. So I respect it. You had to dig that. So, all of this in the beginning to say, this is what it feels like. When I say that this is what it feels like this episode, I'm talking about worth. I told y'all I got a hard on for some self-love and worth all 2021. Last year was self-awareness. So if you ever have an issue recognizing where or what you are, how you are, being aware of you in any moment or given time, make sure that you tune into all of the episodes from 2020 where we played on vision and what is the point of having perfect 2020 vision if you don't see clearly in the mirror. It don't matter that you can see how to get the bag, you can see how to bag the chicks, you can see how to get him to pay your rent, but when you look in the mirror, you see nothing. Shouts out to freaking Jasmine Sullivan and the whole idea of her Hotels album and one of those, goodness, it was a really, I don't know, I felt sad listening to it. I think the individual in the skit even said it feels sad because she recognized that she had power in her sex. And she said she felt like a superhero behind it, but also she recognized that without the sex piece, men didn't want her. This is what we're trying to avoid as we learn who and what we are. To be self-aware is to say, I don't know that I just want you to buy the milk from me. I, the cow, I think I want to be taken care of too. I like green pastures. I like to be in a place where I feel comfy out in the open. I don't want someone to just take products from me but not respect me. You know what I'm saying? That's how America looks at Black culture. If it's Black Heritage Month and we're gonna go through it, you understand what my boss, shouts out to Ujima PCC and Dr. Gina Lopez, she'll tell us, she was saying one day, it's like America wants the black culture's rhythm but not our blues. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't work that way, y'all. If you want others to value you, then baby, you got to see value in you. Rance 1500, who also worked on This Is What It Feels Like, Nipsey and Jay-Z song on Black Messiah soundtrack. He says, if you want people to spend money on your music, then it better sound like money. People will spend money on what sounds like money. You know what I'm saying? And man, by the time you all see this, the last Thursday of this month in February, we will have already had our hip hop forum at Ujima PCC. It's virtual this year, in keeping in line with COVID stuff or whatever. But I cannot wait. Right now, while we're taping it, it hasn't happened yet. And I promise y'all, I can't wait for Tuesday, the 23rd of this month, so I can hear Rance, Lawrence Dobson of 1500 to Nothing CEO, Terrace Martin, who also played on this song. We have Ninth Wonder virtually coming at us, and we're gonna holler at some stuff with sampling. And then I have a very special beautiful lady who is not from hip-hop, but her music is sampled a lot in hip-hop, namely by Ninth Wonder for a lot of Rhapsody's music. Her name is Amber, and she is from a group called Moonchild. So if you guys don't know, I mean, it will have already happened by the time you all hear this, but just be following the @RaiseItUpY page so that you don't miss no other dope events like the one that's going to happen by the time you guys hear this at least 2 days ago. You understand? So I'm telling you. But this episode, what does it feel like? What does worth feel like? That is a question that will be answered in the Wyann's words of wisdom. Gave y'all a lot of energy before the grounding, and that's not what I usually do, but I came in hot, as DJ Pooh says, because I didn't know what the posthumous, is it posthumous, babe?
I wonder, I don't know.
As like I said, it's POSTHEMEOS or OS. It's like an EOU. It's like all those are there, whatever. Of course.
We should call this episode posthumous.
Fuck. I'm, but okay, all right. We'll figure it out by the end of the episode, guys. Don't worry. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this as a family. Don't worry about it. Segments today: Raise 'em Up, Douxadiddy, and we're gonna have a high Y. But first, before we get deep into any of this, we are going to do a grounding. Some of you know I am a trained therapist, not a practicing therapist, but a trained one, MSW at that, Master of Social Work. And the act of grounding is bringing you, yes, you beautiful listener, you, right into the room where you are when you're listening to the sound of my voice. Or if you are on YouTube looking at all of this. You understand? Oh, also, right before we get into grounding, thank you so much for listening and watching YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, anywhere that you can find any podcast. We are probably there looking to be listened to by you, number one. So thank you for that, number one. Number two, thank you for following the @RaiseItUpY pages on IG, on Facebook, on Twitter, and it's @RaiseItUpWY. Rockets up on these hoes. That's what we just generally say. It's a long story. If you don't become a part of Love Tuesdays that I do on every Tuesday at 6 p.m. West Coast, of course, time, then you wouldn't know what that slogan means. But it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, guys. Just rock with me. But I wanted to make sure to say thank you to each of you, number one, because each of you is important to me. I love each of you. You don't have to know me, and I don't have to know you. It's a decision on my part. And because I love you, you have to sit here and take that shit. How about that? So we are going to get into this grounding so I can get you to be really here with me. So if you are driving, please, I invite you to keep your eyes open. If you are anywhere else in the world and you feel so inclined, I invite you to close your eyes so that you can really take this moment to be here with me. Hear my voice. Feel your feet. Wiggle your toes. Touch your nose. And you're doing all of these silly little things just to recognize that you are here. I want you to breathe a breath in and blow a breath out. I want you to do that again. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And take a moment to own this here miracle that we call life, that you are breathing and winning just by living this life and by spending this time with my voice right now. You're investing into your betterment. And I want you to sit with that and feel proud and welcome. Let's go up. Rockets, we all the way up. Let's do it. Let's do it. Announcement yet again, 5 love languages. 5 love languages will be the Raise 'em Up book review topic for the next 5 months, starting with the first love language that he talks about in things, starting in March. And we'll go from March, April, May, June, July. So from March to July, every Raise 'em Up will be about one of these love languages. Why am I doing this? Because y'all forced me to do it. Remember back in December in Chris's episode, I happened to kind of speak it in passing. And then Chris said it would be a really good idea. And then you guys got in my social media and my DMs and all this different stuff. I was like, hey, that would be a real good idea. Not that y'all sound like that. I don't think y'all do. However, I'm just letting you all know you done fucked up. You understand? You told a therapist something as if I wouldn't take it in stride and actually do something about it and hear you. Babies, I heard you, my loves. I heard you. So, no, I'm not getting paid by Mr. Gary Chapman. However, he is the author of the 5 love languages. And this Raise 'em Up is not us going into the 5 love languages, but by it being Love Month as well as Black Heritage Month. I got real black on y'all asses even before the grounding. So let me get really lovey for like the rest of the episode. This book, and any book that you read, I wanted to help you learn how to learn. I wanted to help you learn how to learn. This is getting your brains and your minds to be fertile ground going into this little book review that we're going to do for the next couple months. Also, if you are one of my Ujima students at PCC, Pasadena City College, Ujima, Collective Work and Responsibility, if you're one of my students in there and you happen to be a faithful love, aka listener and watcher of this podcast, then podcast and show of the podcast, then I want to help you all absorb some learning skills that you don't have to just use for this. This is going to help you in any of your classes, any of your coursework throughout your collegiate career. And by the time you all hear this, the last Thursday in this month, the new semester will have only been about 2 weeks in. So this is something that you can really take and learn it in this spring 2021 semester and take it for the rest of your shit, bro. You can take it for the rest of your whole life. If you are one of my 1500 Sound Academy students, same deal. I know we're not academia geared, but at the same time, learning how to learn is one of those things that helps you understand where you have strengths and where you have places that need strengthening, right? You have your limitations and you have your strong points. No good, no bad, just information, just information. And we call that, if you want the actual terminology for learning how you learn, we call it metacognition. Metacognition. Say it into your phone, it'll spell it, right? Developing a relationship with the text or with the curriculum or with the instructor and the syllabus or with the artist that you're about to write for, but this is what you think about what you're learning. Okay? So check this out. When we're reading this book, rather, let me tell you my process. When I, Wyann, when I am reading this book by Gary Chapman, whoa, this dude looks, I just caught his picture. No. I just caught his picture. That was a real time reaction. I've never looked down at that picture. Okay. So, no, I didn't mean to say anything. No. But okay, check me out. Metacognition. If you took college one, you took college one when you was in the program. So in college one, I don't know if they did this with the one book, whatever the book is that you all read, like the whole campus read that one book. But do you know what yours was?
I don't remember the name. I do remember like everybody having to read the whole same.
Everybody had to read the one book.
Like first year thing.
Yep. And so the first thing that they taught us to do with you guys, I don't know if I wasn't your teacher, so I don't know if your teacher or instructor rather did this, but you're supposed to develop a relationship with literally the book. So here's Wyann's version of this, like me doing it myself. I picked up this book. No, stop. I went to Barnes and Noble. So here's me developing my relationship with this book. I go into the self-help area in Barnes and Noble looking for this book. I'm like, I have a fucking master's degree. I have my assistant with me who has a bachelor's degree. We're smart as shit. We're in a bookstore. We're not foreigners to books. We go in there in the self-help section. We are lost. I'm like, what's dude's name again? Okay, good. We're looking at this and that. It got to a point where our pride and egos were finally bruised. And we said, okay, let's find someone that works here. Help us get the book. And they said, oh, well, first off, you're in the wrong section. I'm like, it's a book about love. So how are we not? It's self-help. You know, I didn't think it would be romance. That's like more fiction, right? Romance books and stuff like that. He was like, nah, mind you, it wasn't a he, it was a she, my bad. She was like, nah, he, talking about the author, he's like a Christian dude. It's in the religious section. So automatic, I haven't read the book yet, but automatic, I'm like, okay, I don't really push that on my followers or my listeners or my watchers and my onlookers and my listeners. So I'm like, immediately I feel apprehension. Notice what I do. I recognize how I feel about a book I haven't even seen the cover of yet. Can we talk about it? I haven't read this or even held this book myself. In my counseling 12 class, personal growth and self-development class. You didn't. That was before. I'm talking to Todd, and Todd is my student, but he was my tutoree before he was my student at the college. So all this time, you were still my student. So you were still in my experience. You were just not at the college. I was going to your... Yes, you did. So I'm not tripping. I see your face in my class, but you weren't my student.
Yeah, no, I wasn't enrolled in that class.
Got you. Okay. Thank you. Now I feel good. So the 5 love languages was a subset of the book I used to teach my students about self-development and personal growth. Just the 5 love languages themselves. It didn't mention who the author was. I didn't see the book. It didn't have a picture of the book. It just described them and it talked about the word. No, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure it did have the author's name in it somewhere, but that wasn't something I needed my students to know for the class. So I just took the info and disseminated it to my students. So in a Barnes and Noble, walking towards the religion section, I'm having my thoughts about whether I'm in love with the teaching. I'm just learning like, whoa, okay, I didn't know that was what it was. I pick up the book, and this is what the book looks like. I don't know if anybody wants to, if you want to get a look on there or whatever. Can you guys see? Yeah. All right. So I get the book, and it has like a little, white couple on a beach somewhere. And I'm like, oh, look at that white love. That was my first thought. Again, metacognitions, what I think about what I'm thinking. You see what I'm saying? It's like this is not the actual learning. This is not, the first love language is words of affirmation. That's me actually learning. This is me saying what I think about learning about words of affirmation. You see where I'm going? So it's like a step away from the actual content that I'm reading. I haven't cracked the book open yet, by the way. This is me looking at this and saying, oh, okay. I know that I do a hip hop podcast, mostly black, listeners. But I have listeners from all walks of life, LGBTQ member listeners, black, Asian, Canadian, I have listeners in everywhere in the U.S. obviously, but no, not obviously. That's actually what, subtle flex. No, I have listeners everywhere in the U.S., which is like 90. Every episode is becoming less because Australia, we have listeners now, listeners in Europe, different countries in Europe. So like, that's why I'm saying I'm looking at my data in my head, but you guys don't know that. So my bad, y'all. But yeah, I was just looking at the picture even, picture's worth 1,000 words. And everyone says, don't judge a book by its cover. If you've been Black in America, though, that's fucking bullshit. People always judge books by their covers, and I'm referring to all people as books. So when you see a person who looks like me, there are certain assumptions, good or bad, by the way. There are certain assumptions that you make. It's not that anyone is racist because they have thoughts like that. It's called social psychology. You sum up what you think about a person in the first 6 seconds of meeting their acquaintance. The rest of the time that you know them over your lifespan is amending the rooted first 6-second assessment. Don't take that up with me. Take that up with Sigmund Freud if you have an issue with it. Go do your researches, Googles, and things of that nature. You'll find what the fuck I'm talking about. So I'm holding this book. That was hilarious. I'm holding this book. I'm noticing like, oh, it's not that deep of a book. Like it's not that big or whatever. The pages are kind of flimsy. I'll notice, okay, there's not that many words on a page and it looks like it's pretty straightforward. Like, oh, okay. I'm flipping through it. This is not me yet reading the actual book. And I'm taking you all through this because I don't care if you get the book physically or if you get the book online as an ebook. If you listen, I found it on, oh, nice. I found it on YouTube and listened to it audio wise too. So I'm doing the audio book. I already listened to the full audio book. I'm on my second listen of it because I want to make sure I have it down if I'm going to be, sharing this information with you all. And but I'm still, like you all can see, even though I've already listened to the whole thing, I'm about a fifth to an eighth of the way in, depending on how my eyes want to look at this shit. But so the reality is, these are all of the things that I'm encountering in the process of taking this information in. Why I thought this would be important to share with you all, this being Love Month and Valentine's Day when we tape just past yesterday. What I actually wrote was developing a relationship with the subject or text ... for Valentine's. What happens is, in real life, guys, we like to fall in love. We like to have relationship. We like to, we think we like to connect with folks, right? And it's not that we think. If you fuck with this dude named Maslow, he has a hierarchy of needs. And literally in that hierarchy of needs, the sense of belonging comes before a sense of self-actualization. Self-actualization is actually the last one. That's the fifth one. The fourth one is personal self-esteem, your self-esteem. But before you learn your self-respect, worth, and esteem, you actually need belongingness, love and belongingness from your clan, not like KKK, guys, chill out. Clan as in the cultural anthropological terminology of clan. That's like your tribe. That's like your people. I'll be on app listening about how to grow my brand or get better at things that I do. And what's commonly talked about is, well, you got to find your people. You got to find your tribe. It's about what relationships you build. How are you networking? Relationship building is essential to becoming a success story in any area of your life. Your personal love relationship included, right? So everything that you're learning, you know how when a relationship turns into a relationship and people be like, man, there were so many, there were red flags, man. I saw the red flag. I can now see that there were red flags. You know what that person has done? Now that the relationship is over and they're somewhat removed from it, they look back metacognitively at how they interacted with the text, aka the book, the person, how they got to know them, where they met them. All right. If you start this relationship with this person as they're breaking up with another person, that might be indicative of what you all might go through. There's I don't know how to say this word anymore. Somebody said it real cool the other day, and I was like, the fuck I've been saying adage. 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 Adajaja. Shouts out to the Bay. Yada da mean for sure. But say it. Adage. Seriously? Adage. Okay. I'm so mad because I said adage before. Okay, yeah, so whatever. There's this, I know how to spell it. Shit. Like, but anyways, there's a saying, in case we were saying this word. This is a very scholarly episode so far. Good God. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to. My brain, when my brain doesn't know something, it doesn't default to like words like, fuck, shit. Like when my brain doesn't know what to say, it defaults to scholarly. So it's like, it's so weird. Yeah. It's really weird when it happens in like studios. And I'm like, wait, what? They're like, why? Like, no, like, don't do that. I'm like, you're right. You no, literal. And it's pretty embarrassing. But, yeah, the point is sometimes when you look over metacognitively how you've met someone, you see all the red flags that you missed when you were initially with them. Okay? When you were initially falling in and for and with them. All of those things. So, yeah, I wanted to take you all through that, little journey of some of the things that I felt upon reading this book. Another thing that my book for my textbook for my class never mentioned about this 5 love languages thing. Dude, this book is for marriages. That's another reason why I think it was in the religion section, sort of a thing. Because, he's not necessarily, he's a MFT. No, marriage and family life consultant is what it says that this dude is or whatever. But one of the biggest things is every couple helped in this book is a married couple. I thought that piece was interesting as well, only because it made me go back to my thoughts about when we as people like to play house. I'm thinking of Dog Pound. Young Dad struck the match, but the match went out because there wasn't no more lights in the house. Check it out. But fast forward. Let's play house. Let's play house. That's Nate Dogg. Let's mention that. Is that what you want me to do? West Coast shit. But the point is, when you think about playing house, I've heard a lot of people in relationships talk about, ooh, do you know your love language? Or what are the love languages? Love languages. Now that I've actually consumed the content in this book, it doesn't, what the kids say, it hit different. It don't hit the same when I hear boyfriend, girlfriends, or people getting to know one another. Like, ooh, well, what is his love language, girl? Maybe if you knew that, then you could possibly, be with him and stuff like. These 5 love languages, I've been saying it enough. Let me tell you all what they are in case you don't know. Words of affirmation is love language number 1. Acts of service is love language number 2. Receiving gifts is love language number 3. Quality time spent is love language number 4. And the 5th love language is physical touch. And no, that's not just fucking for all of my boys listening to this. Yes, boys, like young male boys listening to this podcast. And yes, young male minded, even if you're 43. Yes, you too. Anyways, the deal, what I'm learning in consuming this, the several times that I'm consuming this, without the covenant of marriage, meaning there's an investment there. If you want to end it, now you have to go through legal shit. You have to really, I mean, you got to depart with money, like a lot of money in some people's cases. You have to decide how assets will be split up. Like, it's a whole process, the act of divorce, right? And what one of my instructors in my not even my master's degree, in my bachelor's degree program, before I became a certified family life educator, we had a class where the instructor said, if I could find just one scholarly, evidence based article about how living together before marriage helped the couple, one, either get married, or two, stay married, that I wouldn't have to take a test or come to class for the rest of the semester and I would have an A. Y'all know how much of a nerd I am. And some of you by this episode might just have learned how much of a nerd I am. I went through everything I could find to try to get out of taking tests and attending that class. What I'm trying to tell you all is, scholarly, like a bunch of therapists or psychologists or licensed marriage and family therapists and practitioners, having a bunch of them all agree, because that's what peer reviewed means. You write an article, you write a paper, and all of your peers with the same amount of clout in the area as you, they stamp it and co-sign it. There was not one. Now, mind you, this was like 2003. So maybe you'll find some now because they understand how expensive it is to live in, let's say, California, New York, or the Bay Area. But outside of that, guys, I don't know that. I'm just assuming by, so much time having passed, things could be different. But what I'm letting y'all know, 2003, there was not one shred of scholarly evidence that said that living together with the person even was helpful to, one, your chances of being married. It actually said that people would never get married. Or two, if they did get married, it exponentially increased the amount of divorce that would happen. I think being in a marriage, just from my, again, what I think about thinking about this book, being in a marriage where there's so much invested time-wise, energy-wise, through death and through sickness and health, till death do you part type of vibes. When you have that with someone, not just a kid even, not just being a co-parent with someone, because there's so much, I was going to say freedom, but that's not the word I wanted to say. There's so much elusive nature, even in co-parenting with someone. You can still be kind of over here doing your thing and having a bunch of what the kids are calling soul ties. These are all these new words that I'm hearing a bunch of my students talk about now. So I think I had a soul tie with him. It's why it was like crazy. I'm like, what is that in my head? I'm like, what does that mean in what everything I've learned? Like, I don't know, soul tie. Like, you mean y'all fucked and it was good, or it felt deep in your soul? Like you felt connected to this person? Like, I don't know. Cause some of these girls and then mostly girls notice what I just, threw out there. No, it's mostly my girls that say this, one. And number two, when they're saying it, the shit sounds awful. It sounds toxic. It sounds like there should never been, it sounds like sex was the only glue. That is what I would call toxic, or that you've trauma bonded. I don't know that I would call it love, that you would then say, ooh, let me find out if he likes receiving gifts or quality time as his love language. Like, I don't think he wants to be with you. I think that you offered him sex early and he was like, oh yeah. The same way if you offer somebody dessert before their meal, they might not eat the salad if you already gave them the dessert, right? Like, I don't know, guys. This is all my thoughts. This is just what I'm thinking. You understand? This is not indicting nobody. I can have my thoughts without y'all getting offended. That's called the 4 Agreements. We can read that next if you need. But I just wanted to give you all what I thought about the thinking, all right? Which again is called metacognition. It's what you think about what you're learning, about the process of learning. It is rather you processing out how you're learning. And it's what I did with this book. The questions I asked myself, seeing a white couple on the front, is this representative of different cultures? If who I see is a white author and a white couple on a beach, and would this work for Black people in the hood? It's a question, because this book doesn't necessarily look like it's saying, hey, little Ray Ray, pick me up. Read me. This is good for you too. But after listening to it all and reading it all, this dude, meaning the author, Gary Chapman, he comes from a background of anthropology, and anthropology is a study of mankind. So as he starts to describe what this stuff is, I do think that it applies to anybody who's reading this. But like I say, Wyann's take is, I think we should consider the fact that this was written for married couples before people say, man, that shit ain't real. That shit don't work. This was designed for married couples. Okay. So I'm just giving you all that in the beginning before we even get into the first thing, which will come up in March as my earring came off. Mathematics. I'm going to shout you out at the end. You don't have to fall off my ear and demand my attention during my show. Okay. Thank you, Otse. Thank you. All right. My nigga, mathematics. All right. Moving right along, keeping in stride with the idea of this being the month of love. I wanted to give y'all a little Douxadiddy. From my first book, I kind of talk about Write Out a little bit more than my first book, but I don't like picking favorites, and this ain't no favoritism type of thing. There's a poem in here that I wanted you all to hear, and she's called Love Letter. If you've never seen 13, my first book, there she goes. There she is. Available online at my website, wyannvaughn.com. That comes at the end. I'll tell you again, so don't worry about it. So, Douxadiddy. Love. There's so many things I've got to tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how. 'Cause there's some possibility that you'd look at me differently, love. Ever since the first moment I spoke your name, from then on I knew that by you being in my life, things were destined to change, love. So many people use your name in vain, love. Those who have faith in you sometimes go astray, love. Through all the ups and downs, joys and hurts, love. For better or worse, I still will choose you first. Oh. Dear love, boy, it's been a while since I felt your touch, your splendid caress, and here I'd get that crush. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Yeah, this is true. But I don't know if I can go this much longer missing you. I started not to write you, thinking about the times that you hurt me and I despised you. And with every single line, I think, why? Why should I do this again? Your actions prove to me you are more my foe than my friend, but I keep letting you in again and again, hoping every single time you'll be better to me than you've been. And it's even come to the point where now I'd be scared to see you. I meet your care and greatness, and my defenses greet you. And I know you wonder why when you're in this wonderful guy. Why won't I let you back in my heart? Well, because every time I mend it back together here, you come again, sir, ripping it apart. And yeah, you're in a different guy. And he has a different name. Maybe a different story, but it's still all the same. You pick me up and spin me around, and we dance to the melody of this new thing we found, and the nights stay young as we laugh and we play. You whisper sweetly, hey, baby, we could do this right here every day. Yeah, I can make every hereafter feel just like right now, girl. I'd even build you a kingdom if you'd wear my crown. Ooh, and my tears pour out and we drown as I accept. No ifs, no ands, no buts, no accepts. And I just know, oh, I know that you feel the same way. Yet I never speak what I think. I just let that music play. Until that one day. Oh, and this day always plays out. You're convinced that our music has suddenly faded out. And I tell you, baby, times will get harder than these. We can get through this. You keep time. I'll sing you symphonies, babe. We don't even need no music. Oh, well, it works for a minute. But you're not really in it. And really, I don't care much anymore for the sound. And then the same man who swept me off my feet inevitably puts me down. I feel like tears of a clown, completely out of place. So when you come around, love, expect me to look away. What else should I say when you do come to me? Boy, you're like that fat kid at school that always used to fuck with me. And just like with that bully, I got used to the rain. I'm sorry, just like with that bully, I got used to the pain. No bother searching for the sun, honey. I got used to the rain. Headache, heartache, they became the norm. Suited and booted for the worst. So I was soothed by your storms. So tell me, what makes you coming around this time any different? And I feel so sorry for this new guy because I am so distant. Oh, he got a smile like the now. Big, bold, and beautiful. Got style and finesse down to his cuticle. And not to mention disposition. Boy got the heart of a saint. Don't even try to play the part of something that he ain't. That guy's only crime is finding something in me where he feels we can build, yet I'm too stubborn to see. My problem, it don't even lie with he, man. That shit lies with you and all the stupid shit you tend to make people do. Man. Oh, I could close my eyes and just see his beautiful self. And I can't really picture him with nobody else. So I've thought to myself, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give my all to him, love. Try to forget about you. Yeah. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Yeah, I'll say that again. But what I thought I missed from you, love, I'm going to find that in him. Sincerely, Wyann. Hey, snaps for that ass. This beautiful illustration done by my awesome, dope, and amazing cousin, Chloe. We call her Chloe Rose. You understand? Daughter of one of the emotions. You had to dig that. Yeah, I wanted to do this poem as it pertains to our high why. So without explicating this poem, because there's only one thing I don't agree with in this poem now that I'm what I wrote this in 2003. So what was I about to be 21? No, I was already 21, and here I'm 38. Yeah, with all these years removed, let me say this: never give up on love. Never. I said at the end, what I thought I missed in love, I would find in him, a man. That was a mistake. That was what I thought, because I was getting some results I wasn't loving, being in love at 21. In love at 21. Hilarious. But if y'all are under 30, you can't even imagine what the fuck I'm saying right now. But no, the reality, and that's an assumption, a gross assumption, so some of y'all might know. So before you guys get your lives in a bunch, chill out. No, the reality is this, ladies and gents. Don't give up on love. Because I can say, I know where I was at 21. I did a poem. This is the one poem that we did for terrorist stuff that I didn't put in Write Out. So the 3 chord fold poems, all 3, the freeloader, the renter, the buyer, those are all in Write Out, right? When we did 3 chord fold remixed, and I started with the it's me, the freeloader, the renter, the buyer, it's me. The it's me poem, that'll probably go in my next set of poems. But one thing that she said, it was really, really small, but pay attention to words when you're talking to a poet like me. I said at one of the, right after I sung, that wasn't for me no more, me no more, me no more, me. I was looking to flee no more, flee no more, flee no more, flee. I was looking to be. I was looking, listen to what she said. I was looking to be with the one. So when this one came, stop. The one, baby, whoever you are, gentleman, lady, any pronoun you'd like to be called, the one and this one are not the fucking same. This one is the person that you're loving on right now. That's who you're with today, right now. Just because you are ready for love doesn't mean that the person you're dating at the time is ready too. This is called look before you leap, ladies and gentlemen. You understand? This is making sure that you have from yourself that which you're looking for from your partner. Whatever you think you're looking for out of your union with somebody, if you don't already provide those things for yourself, you are loving with a deficit. You are loving from lack. You are looking to be made whole by another person. And it'll never work that way. Let me just go on and give you the spoiler alert. At 38 years old, I am an OG. You know, to dig that? I'm telling you. And not all 38-year-olds are working on their self-actualization. I work on my self-actualization every fucking day. So you can be 40, 10, I was about to say. You could be 49. And if you are 49, still in the club with the drink, not realizing you're the old scary uncle to all the few, like the cute hot girls now, then you can't even, you couldn't even have this conversation with me. The reality is, if you are looking to be with someone to be made whole, you are loving, you know the song, straight up loving you every day. That's love without a limit. No, you are loving with a limit. You are loving on limits. Literally, you are loving like literally at a deficit, bro. That's the long story short on there. And yeah, if there was something I could tell my 21-year-old self out of this poem that she wrote, beautiful poem, by the way, I would let her know, never take your eyes off love. Never take your eyes off love. And I would remind her or inform her, she might not have known it so much then, I would inform 21-year-old Wyann that where I thought love is God, by the way. God is, God, only equal unto himself. But he's also love. When I looked in the mirror, I should have seen the love I was looking for in a nigga. Keep it a bean. That's what I needed Wyann of 21 to know. You understand? So never take your eye off the ball, big girl. This is literally Wyann at 38 talking to Wyann of 21 or anybody who this could apply to. Never take your eye off the ball, big girl. Never. You understand? and trying to love an individual, trying to love a man, a human, any human, not just a man, any human, trying to love on those limits and on those terms, I don't know. I don't know if that would be it. I would always suggest that any of us, any of you, love on love. Stay focused. Don't lose sight of love. All right? That's what it feels like. You understand? What love feels like is making sure that you are doing unto yourself that which you would wish another would do for and to and unto you. All right? So leaving the Douxadiddy, going into high Y, because I think that poem dovetails really nicely into my twin from the dirty. I have a few April 13th twins now, so shouts out to all of you, all my twins. This one is my girl April. She's an April 13th baby, so April is her name. That's pretty dope. She asked on Love Tuesdays that happens on my @Wyanna account, WYANNA on IG, Instagram, every Tuesday, 6 p.m. West Coast time. The high Y was, how do you cultivate a healthy relationship with all of the unknowns? There's a lot of unknowns, right? There's a lot of shit that we just don't know. We don't got it all figured out. I'm going to use math on this one. I'm going to tap into the math teacher on this. I had a lot of individuals freeze when it came to learning algebra because they were like, why are there letters in math? There should not be English letters in my numerical math class. I don't like it. This makes me feel awkward. I hate it. Move. Why is there an X in my plus and minus 7, 28 and equal signs? I'm upset at off rip. And I said, I hear that. And I would respond, X is the unknown. X is what we're looking for. We're looking for the unknown. So let's just take something that I think each of us, if we don't know it, we'll figure it out together right now. X plus 6 equals 13. Of course, we're going to use 13. Tatted on my torso. If you don't believe me, I'll pull my shirt up one day. So X plus 6 is 13. It equals 13. I had, and for people who they're not going to listen because they don't know the answer yet, the answer is fucking 7, bro. I know you playing. He was over there like this. Tuesday, Wednesday, okay, April. So 12. No. But no. And the way you get that, I used to say is 3 steps in algebra, any algebraic equation, which is what you can find an answer from. Opposite operation, do it to both sides of the equal sign, solve. Opposite operation, number 1 thing. Number 2 thing, do it to both sides of the equal sign. Number 3 thing, solve. So you have an X, you have a plus 6, you have an equal sign, and you have 13. What's the opposite of plus 6? Minus 6. So I'm going to put minus 6 under the minus 6, and on the opposite side of the equal sign, I'm going to put a minus 6 or subtract 6 under the 13. Okay, that was me doing step 2, both sides of the equal sign. And now we solve. So 6 from 6 leaves 0, and then there's nothing there, but we bring the X down, right? Because X was up there. So we pop X down, we keep the equal sign because it's a mirror, it always stays where it's at. And then 6 from 13. If you take away $6 from $13, you now have $7. I say that because whenever it's money, my students, their brains, male and female, by the way, my students would come alive when it was money. If I didn't put dollars on it, they would not, I guess it would just, they would disengage almost. So being an effective educator, you always make shit relevant. So why did we just learn algebra to answer how do we cultivate healthy relationships with all the unknowns? It's the word unknowns. It's the word unknowns that makes me think of algebra. What we just did right now, we solved the equation, right? We solved the problem, right? I had students, mind you, I taught for several years. I've done this, bro. I got a lot of data to research this topic with. There were certain people, the way that when they encounter stress, the unknowns in life, they focus so hard on the things they don't know that they never attempt to solve the problem. So I had students, X plus 6 equals 13. I had students that would be like, boy, why is X in here? What the fuck? Like, see, that's Miss Y, that's that bullshit. This is not what I signed up for. Blah, blah, blah. I would let them talk. Sometimes it was a whole period. I would let them talk. Just so when the class was done, I could say, so how far did we get in your work today? Miss White, you already know what it is. It's an X. Like, nigga, what the fuck? I don't do X's. Like, the X, I don't even fuck with my own X's. Like, the fuck? Like, it would be a lot. Y'all think remember I taught at Crenshaw Manual Arts. Ask about me in LA if you don't know. Anyways, people were off it. And all that time, they sat there focusing on what they didn't know. They didn't even try. They didn't even attempt the problem. So how do you cultivate a healthy relationship given that there are so many unknowns? Hey, if there are unknowns, what's the opposite of unknowns? There are some things you know. You're not as ignorant or naive or deprived of knowledge as you think. None of us are. Y'all want to know what the fuck therapy is? Let me help y'all out real quick. Therapy is me as a trained mental health professional knowing so much about the human psyche, human development, patterns of humans, how we love, how we live, how we hate. Me being able to apply the knowledge of all this content to the individual that walks through my door. Or if you're a couple, the dyad as one. I apply it to y'all. And what my job is, it's to help you safely come to conclusions about yourself that I figured out about you in the first hour of meeting you. And I figured it out because it took me 3 years to learn all these patterns. And what you got to know about humans and people, we aren't as fucking complex as we think we are. We're not. We all love. We all have things that we hate. We have fears, love. We like to fuck a lot. You understand? We use certain things to cope for deficits and other things. It's across the board. We all cry. You can be Canadian or Australian, Toltec or Aborigine. We cry. We laugh. We all make love. We all have friendships. This is stuff that's across the board, sort of like your boy Gary Chapman in the 5 Love Languages as a cultural anthropologist or an anthropologist. I don't know if it's that cultural, but he's an anthropologist. I am telling you from having taken cultural anthropology, these are things that we all do. All of us. So I want you to make sure that as much as we think we don't know stuff, there's a lot that we do. So my suggestion, how do we cultivate healthy relationships, giving all the unknowns? Well, what do we know? Again, what do you know about a person? I don't think Wendy would mind me sharing this story. She had a bad breakup. Wendy did back in the day. My sister from episode 23, Sound Creators, the Spiritual Edition. She had a bad breakup. And subtle flex, we were over our auntie Akusua's house, Akusua Bossier, and she's best friends with Stevie Wonder, who's like a music family member to us. And Wendy's explaining about how this bad breakup happened. Stevie Wonder said to Wendy, I know what he said, but what did you see? Wait, you're telling me a person who can be described as blind is asking you what you saw? What I say about how I read the book and how you meet people, the similarities there, the metacognition, were there signs? There are always signs. What do you see? What do you see? You know stuff. You guys know stuff. There's a pit in your stomach feeling. You got the girl over your house and you don't want to go to sleep around her. That's not nothing, guys. You don't trust her. Why don't you trust her? Something in your system is saying, get this bitch out of here. She might rob me. She might set me up. Don't ignore that because the pussy was good. You understand? Like this is real life, ladies and gentlemen. For ladies, I mean, he got a temper on him, but that shit kind of sexy, huh? Right. The temper. He a jealous type. Like that mean he care. I've heard that a lot of times. And those things are also unchecked in some men, not all, and not all situations. Early indicators of a domestic abuser, right? So this is not a one-size-fits-all answer for certain scenarios. But for this question from my twin in the dirty, Miss April, asking, how do you cultivate healthy relationships? Look at what you know. Look at what you know. Don't focus on what you don't know. Focus on what you know. And guess what? Remember how we talked about a minute ago, how all last year we was looking at self-awareness? The more you know about you, the more you can recognize in anybody else. Episode 27 with the masterminds, Mitsun Okada on at Mitsun Okada, MITZEN OKADA, and at urban underscore, huh? Okay, let's go. I can't even blame that on Siri. At urban underscore counselor, the masterminds from episode 27, we talked about boundaries, recognizing where you are different from where another person is. What makes you tick versus what makes someone else tick. All of these things, recognizing you. Valentine's Day. I can't tell you how many people was like, I need a Valentine. I need somebody. I need a Valentine. I need this and that, and blah, blah, blah. I have two gentlemen right here. How many of you guys, of the two of you, would want a girl who needed you for a Valentine to have as a date for that day? Because I need you to spend money. I need you to make me feel whole. I need a date. I need pictures for the gram. Oh. The boys said, I got work to do. I'm focused. I got me to do. Nobody wants to. Oh, this is not to my dirty South twin, by the way. This is to anybody it applies to. Hurt dogs holler. So if you got a problem with what I say next, it means it applies to you. Yeah. That shoe fits. And if the shoe fits, buy a matching purse. That's what I heard. But listen, I want you all to know nobody owes you shit. No man with money owes you a Birkin bag. No man with a house owes you a move-in. No woman owes you sex. No woman owes you cooked meals. Like, nobody owes you shit. Male, female, whatever pronoun you decide to use, no person owes you anything. We talked about that a couple episodes back in the Wyann's Words of Wisdom, looking at entitlement and what that can look like and how people can confuse entitlement and worthiness. Go back and listen to that episode if you need to. Can't remember which one it is. I'll try to put it in the comments on YouTube if I find it. When I find it, it's there to find. But nobody owes you anything. Whatever you're looking for in someone else, develop it first within you so that you're not loving at a deficit, loving from lack, or looking for somebody else to complete you or make you whole. I was looking at a show, and a guy, it was like one of those makeover shows, like, I Love My Fab Five, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. They dropped the For the Straight Guy part because they were doing anybody. They were doing anybody, but that's not true. They were helping all people. They called every episode has a hero, and they were looking at a hero to help, and help with their style, their confidence, because they were being so good to so many people around them, but they forgot themselves. That's how that goes. So the Fab Five, these 5 gay guys, would come in and be the dopest motherfuckers ever. They were like the best fairy god gay mothers anywhere, queens, more however they identify. But the vibe is this: they would come in and create this, I don't know, bubble for the individual, for the hero, who was so used to taking care of other people that they did not take care of themselves. And they were helping this one guy. And they were remarking to him how filthy his space was. And he had like a fucking gorgeous house, gorgeous this and that. He owned things for himself. He did stuff for his community. He was like, dope. And when they brought up the fact that, like this is awful. He said, no. They said, yo, this is so filthy. He was like, the gentleman said, I know, I need a wife. The dudes, the gay men that are on the show, they said, like the music, everything stopped. It was like, oh, hell no. Like they literally checked his ass so fast. Like that mentality, whatever that is, like, no, he was like a traditional, like manly, like a man's man sort of a thing. But no woman signed up to be your maid. You think you need a wife because you need someone to clean the house? No, baby, that's called a maid. And this person was an entrepreneur and had money. Get buy a fucking housekeeper. Like, are you serious? Like, or hire, not buy one. I don't know how that sounds. Hire someone for their services, especially if it's what they do and they're good at it. Are you serious? So, yeah, I just wanted to dovetail from that Douxadiddy where I was reciting to you all my 21-year-old written love poem called Love Letter out of my first book, 13, into that wonderful hashtag hi Y. If ever you want to ask your own question for me to answer right here on air, you can DM at RAISEITUPWY. That's at Raise It Up Y on across all social platforms. And I was using this as part of my merch. I don't know. I just kind of looked down and was like, oh, right, my face mask is fly. So there that goes. New merch on the way. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that. We're nearing the end of the episode, and we're going to talk about these Wyann's words of wisdom. We're answering this is what it feels like that we spoke about in the top of this broadcast today, ode again to Nip and Jay-Z on the Black Messiah soundtrack. This is what it feels like. This is what worth feels like. I just wanted to talk about worth versus validation seeking. We all, especially during COVID, to connect with people, and like we said, belongingness, love, and connecting is one of our basic human needs. It's not a deficit. It's not a dependency. It's not a handicap to have relationship or to desire love. It's a basic human need. None of us are born by a stork dropping off a fucking kid. Two people had to get together. There was a relationship that had to happen to make any one of us, right? So literally, relationship is essential, and it is a human basic need. I wanted to talk about that connection and that desire for it since COVID, especially, and everything going online and using social media, where people use social media just for frivolous things, let's say. In some cases, this was all we had as we were quarantined, as we were in a house for damn near a year. You know, me personal, I'm kind of still lightweight quarantining. I've been to my parents' house here, a couple studios with people I trust, right? I haven't really been nowhere still. You know, people are calling me for certain gigs around town and I'm like, how much you paying, a lot or no? But anyways, when we are on social media, especially, I asked a question to people. Do you use social media to be seen? And what I meant by that, because certain platforms like Instagram, it's like pictorial, right? Like you're supposed, like you have to, there's something there. But you have the choice of what you post, pictorial, you know, like it's a space for a picture. It don't have to be your picture. You could showcase your work if you're a photographer. If you're an artist, some people put up most of their work. They connect to fans on Instagram and other platforms and things. But there are some people who use the platform to be seen. I was listening to the Joe Budden podcast and they said that, you know, how women sometimes can get on social media platforms and have all these ass pics and turn around and show their ass. And they decided that the male version of an ass pic is a nigga on a money phone. That's you seeking attention. That's you trying to say, oh, I'm thick. I thought that was hilarious. But at the same, yeah, the money fan, which is a little less than the money phone. Let's be honest. Y'all, some of y'all was like, oh, I'm doing something. It's like, baby, if you put all those together, it would be less than the part of the book I read. And, you understand? So it's like, sit down. That was so funny when Jay-Z was telling all the young rappers, if you can hold all your money for a money phone, then we don't really call that money where I'm from, type of thing. He said it on 444, one of the songs on 444. And to spite him, almost to be upset with him, all these rappers try to do money phones. Start looking up some of the net worth of these motherfuckers, though. Compared to, in hip-hop, Jay-Z is number one. What he's worth, his estate, things like that. Dre is 2. Puff is 3. I think Kanye was 4 or somebody like that. I forgot how it goes. But just recognize when you start talking about GOATs and giants, especially monetarily, and then do stuff like a money phone for a boy, you know, or popping bottles, your pictures in the club where you pop bottles, and we understand that that's a $1,500 area. So yeah, I got it over here. You know what I mean? Fuck with me. You know, I got it. I got 1,500 bottles, 7 nights a week. And you live where? Right. You drive what? Oh, shit like that. It make you look weird in the light. That's all I'm saying. But my point in saying that is, it's all really indicative of where somebody believes their worth is versus how valid they think they are. Let me give you some definitions. Worth is the level at which someone or something deserves to be valued or rated. That's worth. Just a definition on Google, right? The level at which something deserves value. Validation. The action. Notice that you're doing something. Worth is a measure. Worth is a measuring stick. It is. Is as in existence. It bees. You understand? It is. It exists. Boom. It's static. It kind of is. Validation. The action. This is meaning like there's momentum. You're moving to do this thing. The action of checking or, wonderful word for this, proving the validity or accuracy of something. In the world of validation, you're trying to prove yourself. To whom is the question? When you are looking to validate your art, all my 1,500 Sound Academy babies, your worth to these colleges, all my Ujima PCC babies that are looking to transfer to these universities, had a student tell me who got into all these schools, but USC hasn't called back. I'm like, so? They're lost. No, you don't understand, Miss Y. Like USC is like the top of the top. I'm like, to put you in debt, you're right. They are the top of the top. Unless you got somebody that worked there and then you get a free ride. Like, what are we talking about? No, I'm just saying it's USC. And in my head, of course, I'm thinking past, like with several degrees under my belt, I'm looking at this baby, looking at how marketing works on young people. That means these schools have awesome marketing, right? And in my head, I'm like, I got coworkers that went to USC. They have a lot of debt. I went to Cal State Long Beach, Go Beach, and I have no debt. Guess what? We get paid the same rate. They didn't pay them more because they know they have debt. They didn't pay them more because USC is so much more prestigious. They got the same pay rate I did. Only mine goes to me and part of theirs goes to Sally Mae. I'm just saying, it's up to y'all. But validation means that you are seeking to prove yourself worthy somewhere. Your worth is establishing your value. And when we are on social media and things of that nature, and we're looking to, connect with other people, this again, going back to the idea of this being Love Month or Black Heritage Month. When you're looking to connect to people, for what reasons are you looking to connect? Everything you want in this life, you're attracting back to you. So when you get the ass picture girls, they generally attract the money phone dudes. They connect, or their version of connect, which might end up resulting in trauma bonding, meaning that sex becomes the highest point of their connection, right? And after the end of that, they're the same ones, usually of my students, that talk about Miss Y, but I had a soul tie with him. Did you, though? Can you describe it? Because if you can't describe the one back to yourself, I don't know if you can describe the one to him. How is your soul tied to you? Right in the mirror. Boom, bap. That motherfucker right there. You and them. You and you. And y'all might get tired of me saying that. And a lot of this might seem like, okay, I get it. Learn myself. Okay, but I don't want to be lonely. I do want to connect with someone. Yes. What I'm saying to you also is, so long as you are looking at love from the deficit perspective of, I want somebody, I'm tired of being alone, I'm tired of it. If you don't want to fuck with you, don't be surprised when the dudes just want to fuck on you. Gentlemen, if you want the girl, the person that you want to be with, whoever they may be, whatever sex, whatever gender, whatever preference, if you want them because you want the lifestyle that it looks like other people have that have them, you know what I'm saying? A person having a relationship looks like, relationship goals is supposed to be like. I want to be married. A lot of girls now, I'm pushing 40. A lot of girls my age, I just need that ring, man. I just need that. I want to have a wedding. I want that ring. And it's like, but you're not happy right where you standing with yourself. If you're happy right where you standing with yourself, I'm pretty sure what you would attract is somebody else happy right where they are and with themselves. With the two of you as happy as can be, whether it be marriage, whether it just be the best of friends and y'all happen to roll with each other, whatever it might be, I bet you money that it would be some of the most fulfilling connection that you could imagine. However, if you do not love just the company of you, sitting, chilling, being with you, I could see you not necessarily wanting to spend a lot of time just with you. And wanting then to invite somebody else into your world, into your space, to do what? Then is the question. What is the objective of the person you're looking to attract? What do you want them to do? To lift you up? to build you up, to make you whole, to what? Pay your rent? Is it cheaper than that? Do you want to pay your rent? Do you want a personal maid like the one dude in the show? Do you want somebody to validate you like your mother did? What do you want? What do you want? You know? These are just the questions that I would ask myself before I'm lusting or lunging, thirsting myself after a relationship that I have yet to manifest. That which you are looking for in this world, it is looking for you. Watch how you're speaking. Watch how you're thinking. All of those things are indicative of where you feel your worth appraisal is at. I would hope that you recognize that you have so much value by just being alive and walk in that. You don't like the way you look. You gained some weight since COVID. Okay, let's hit some walks. Let's watch what we eat. Let's shop at different places now. Let's be a little more intentional. That's all. Let's be a little more intentional, because guess what? What if you changing yourself for yourself to enhance yourself and starting to shop at Trader Joe's and Whole Foods is where you meet that one person? You won't know until you go. You won't know until you go. But what I can say is, whether you find the love of your life lurking on aisle 6 at Trader Joe's or not, the fact that you are shopping there and being better to your body, trust and believe anything that you attract is going to be on a higher playing field, period. It is not microwave generationable, by the way. This is you taking time with you. I can try to speak. If I do this to this book and thumb through the book like that, I might have seen all the pages, but I didn't read the book. You don't learn that way. Not a book, not a person. So, and if you're looking for self-love to stick, you have to see that value intrinsically in the mirror. And let me answer this before I get out of here. What does it feel like? Because we said this is what it feels like. What does that worth feel like? Maybe if I gave you some feeling words, some adjectives, you all could jump on that vibration. Worth feels like validation from self. Worth feels like trust. Trust with yourself. Some people feel scarred by past relationships, and you think that the lack of trust happened from the individual with whom you were in a relationship, when really, if you did some digging, you would see that what you're more upset with and have a lack of trust for is your ability to choose someone that is for you. You have to be the person for you to know what that person will be and look like. What does that worth feel like? It feels like self-sustainability. It feels like worth feels like peace in yourself. It feels like happiness. It feels like you have a relationship even when you're alone, literally with no other person in your proximity. You can read a book yourself and feel fulfilled. You can go on a walk or a hike yourself and feel fulfilled. So I guess it feels like fulfillment, regardless of what you're doing. Also, worth feels like choosing partnership and not requiring any part of a relationship. Worth feels like choosing some partnership, but not requiring any part of that partnership. My auntie, Mickey Howard, spoke on my uncle's show on Facebook Live every Sunday at 1 p.m. He comes on, the Victor Brooks show. She was talking about her bout with domestic violence, my auntie Mickey Howard. And she had a message for ladies from what she experienced that said, lots of women stay with abusing men, physically abusive men, because they are financially dependent on these men. Their resources, how they provide for their families, comes from a man. And it made me write this in my notes to make sure I told you all during this part of the show. Financially independent women love differently. A woman who don't need a man for anything chooses the company of a man. I'm not just going to say financially independent. I'm going to say energetically independent as well. I make me happy. I smile when no one's around. I dance when I don't have a physical partner with me. When I go out, the DJ is my boyfriend. Because I go out by myself a lot. A lot of my homies is who I'm going to see. They're on stage. So when I go somewhere, I never feel alone because the homies is right there on stage, playing, doing whatever they're doing. But I'm there physically alone. Amongst a lot of people, but alone myself. I drove alone. I got there alone. I'm going to leave alone type of thing. And I'm fine. With or without a boyfriend at the time, I'm fine. Don't got to have the girlfriends to go to the bathroom. I'm fine. I'm safe wherever I go. I'm loved wherever I go because I carry that shit with me all the time. I make it up new, fresh, like daily bread every day. And I carry the shit with me all day until I go to bed. And then tomorrow I have to make a fresh new batch. It's like Panera out this bitch. You know what I mean? I don't know if everybody has a Panera though. So, but yeah, something like it. But I just wanted to make sure that I answered what does worth feel like, because that is the conclusion of our Wyann's words of wisdom. And y'all know, before I motherfucking go, hold up, new bra, hold up. So, pay your dues, baby. Let's go. I hope y'all see this luscious hair. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go by at Hair by Quista, HAIRBYQUISTA, Hair by Quista, my hair lady. I didn't get to go by there today or yesterday because I have been working out and I want to sweat. And if y'all know anything about a black woman's hair, Black Heritage Month, when we sweat, we go from Sade to Shaka Khan. Okay, fuck with the God. Anyway, so my cousin, Maya Smith, founder, MC, Master of Curl, at the Do, THEDOUX.com, thedo.com. Maya Smith can be found on Instagram at I love THEDOUX. I love the Do. My cousin, bro, she has been pubbing her One Love. It is a detangle, cleanse, and condition in one step. Super slip condition cleanser. Wash day in a jar. No poo, pre-poo. And that's on period. Poo, period. That's some of the kids, they say that. That's on period. Poo, period. Something like that. Period. Period. Poo. There it is. It ends with a T. No poo, pre-poo, and deep condish. Oh, what are these words, Maya? I don't know what the fuck that. I love this product. And this One Love smells really good. Did I show you how this smells, bro? It's like bubble gum. It's like bubble yum, even. And Black Rob, baby. Like, whoa. Whoa. I like, whoa. Whoa. My cousin's product, bro, called Whoa. This is a deep conditioning mask, right? And I used this when I was washing my hair, getting ready to straighten it like I got it now. YouTube, this only matters to you. So sorry, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and everybody else. Bro, this felt so good in my hair. I almost didn't straighten my hair. If it hadn't been cold, if it wasn't winter, bro, in the summer, y'all gonna get these curls. I tell you that much. I know that. Next, at Mathmatics, MAF as in Frank, MATIKS, Mathmatics. I was going to wear their beanie along with my shirt, and turns out my baby hair slapped. Damn it, the do. So I could not put this beanie on my hair. My students, no, I'm still capping on at Ujima PCC students. Y'all didn't teach me how to do my baby hairs. You know who taught me how to do it? The creator of Darkwear. I shout out Darkwear, a couple times or whatever, but DARQUEWEAR, Darkwear. My homegirl and co-worker at the college, Armia C. Walker. Yeah, she did my hair for the hip hop forum last year and taught me how to do baby hair. Y'all know I didn't have baby hairs until March last year because they didn't exist. I didn't know how to do it. So when she did it on me, I was like, OMG, she put it on me. Come here, baby. But yeah, also, speaking of at PCC, speaking of at Ujima PCC, I'm so sad if you all don't follow at Raise It Up Y or my Wyann account, WYANNA, because we, for Black History Month, turned the fuck up. That's number one. That's what we did first off. But secondly, my event that I'm responsible for every year, the Hip Hop Forum, Ninth Wonder, Terrace Martin, Lawrence Dobson of 1500 or Nothing, as well as Amber of Moonchild. If y'all don't know Moonchild, I'm so sad for y'all. But to hear these individuals, mind you, when we're taping, I haven't even heard them yet. But those four are so dope. I don't have to hear them. I already know they are going to be a cacophony of dope shit. How about that? It's going to be so good. I'll send you guys a link too. It's just the club link, Todd. It's the club link. So if you just go on the club link, you already have it. That was, when you guys hear this, was at 5:30 p.m. West Coast time. At the Zoom link that I probably sent everybody out who was asking for it. But I will be posting, or will have been posting about it. So I hope you guys follow these accounts so that you can always be in the know. But at Ujima PCC, shouts out to Dr. Gina Lopez, future Dr. Walker, Armia Walker, who is also the founder of Darkwear, as well as everybody else that we work with up there. I love y'all. You know how that go. And I love that they allow me to be the edu side of my edutainership. And there's this new the third thing I want to shout out outside of the do in mathematics is Psych and Sounds. That's at PSYCHANDSOUNDS. My homegirl brought me into a conversation with these practitioners, mental health practitioners, who were all talking about the mental health implications of Kendrick Lamar's song off Damn called Fear. No, they didn't do Fear. They did Feel. Yeah, should I feel like ain't nobody praying for me? That was the refrain he kept saying, ain't nobody praying. You know what I'm saying? We talked about that. It got into talks about depression and how people cope and expression and what it means. And I brought to the table what it feels like from an artist perspective, hearing Kendrick say the words that he said. And oh man, it was just such a dope conversation. But Psych and Sounds, follow them on IG. They have some dope content up there. They're under the at Raise It Up Y follow list as well. Dude, I'm really looking forward to some of the other topics that they bring up because everything has been fly so far that I've been seeing from them. Last but not least, who I want to and what I want to shout out, WyannVaughn.com, WYANNVAUGHN.com. At Wyann, WYANNA. That's my entertainment, more geared towards entertainment page and all other things. Wyann. Love Tuesdays is where I do IG live with all of y'all loves on my @Wyanna page. Hashtag Lightwork, LYGHTWORK. Lightwork, bro. My mentoring service. I'm already filled to capacity with how many clients I think I should take. And we have groups though. We have groups every and the next group, technically when you all hear this, it'll be in 2 days. So February 27, 1 p.m. on the West Coast, obviously. We will be having another one of our 13 by 13 groups. 13 people pay $13 and we go up for about an hour and a half. Just depends on how long it takes to hear from everybody and make sure we all talk. And Lightwork is my professional mentoring services that I open back up. Like I say, all my individual stuff, I kind of booked out. I'm booked up on that because this is an energy thing for me. I have to make sure my energy doesn't get depleted for what I have to do or want to do. But I still have 13 by 13 slots open. DM at Raise It Up Y or Wyanna. I've already spelled it. Should I spell it again? RAISEITUPWY. That's at Raise It Up Y or at WYANNA. That's where I actually handle more of my light work, is on the Wyanna page. But you can totally hit Raise It Up Y too. Just a couple more people have access to my business page, but it's still me, guys. So the mathematics, psych and sounds, and all things Wyann. New merch. By the time you hear this, in 1 week after, there will be new merch. And if you come to love Tuesdays, you will understand what it is when we say rockets up on these hoes. Hashtag rockets up on les hoes. You will understand it if you come. If you do not come, there is no judgment. However, the cool kids know where we at. So, guys, this was a dope episode. I feel good about it. I feel nice and satisfied. And this is what it feels like. Woo! Thank you, Nip. Thank you. Because even though you're not physically here, I still literally feel your presence, and hearing your voice come through speakers is always a pleasure. And I can't wait to hear about the stories behind this at the Hip Hop Forum that Rance and Terrace are going to tell, because both of them worked on the song too. So I just know it's going to be outstanding. And Rhapsody sends her love to all of you loves. She loved all the birthday love from last episode. So sooner than later, we'll probably end up seeing what it do with the girl. Sooner than later. Guys, we are technically tired. Overtly tired. So much love and positivity to all of you. We thank you for rocking with us. We had the dates right. Lightwork, 13 by 13. Hip Hop Forum will already be passed. And I got a couple other things, but they're already going to be passed by the time this comes out. So it's fine. We love you guys. You don't get choices in that, because my love for you is my choice. Okay? So just take it, sit there and live in it, drenched all over with my love. You dig? Please have a great rest of your Black Heritage and Love Month, the 3 days that are still here. Get ready for the Ladies Month and Social Work Awareness Month. That's next month in March. And we will see you soon. And as always, y'all, stay real.
Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up.